Right, we are going. So how did you get into this like cosplay like boyfriend to death too? Like what was the thing that kind of like launched that?
Well, well, what got me into the game was a friend recommending it to me, and I started playing it, and I was like, "This is neat," but like, it also is kind of mind-boggling at the same time. And so she taught me the route on how to get to Ren, who is the character that I'm cosplaying as, and she taught me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, let's figure this guy out." And he's the only character with the most positive roots, like where like you survive or live to the next day.
Wow, so your character like has the most hope almost of all the other ones. Oh, interesting. Like how many
Even
characters?
though
Oh, go for
how
it.
many characters?
Yeah.
There's four if you count Ren, but there's three main ones. Which one's named Kane, Vincent, and Lawrence. They all have like a very like their roots are very like they're very like I don't know how to put it into words,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of like a game where like you have to like be careful with what you say because it'll affect what happens later on,
Hmm.
like the domino effect.
So by roots you mean like the roots towards establishing like a loving relationship is kind of what you're.
Kinda. It's not really like it can be a loving relationship, or can it be like you either kill the person? Yeah, you can kill them, and it's really weird. I'm sitting there like, okay.
So like how do you win?
You have to like have your words precise, and you kind of like have to figure them out, and you have to like for Ren, you kind of like have to like be very open towards his behaviors and not freak out
Oh, interesting.
because yeah, and then there's also a couple of times where like he's not afraid to snap your neck.
So these characters, the way to win is to basically like understand your character and their reactions so well that you can like adjust and not die.
Yes.
Wow. Do you get points for killing people?
No, you don't, but you do
That's
get
cool.
like you do get gallery, like a gallery of like pictures about what happened in that game. And yeah, and the story is so detailed that like you can like visualize it
Wow.
instead of just looking at what happens, you can like visualize it because it's like the imagery is like so vivid.
So for people watching, this game that we're talking about is Boyfriend to Death 2 Fresh Blood, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
When did it come out this game?
I actually don't know, but like I said before,
Yeah.
the game is kind of adult like. So for those who are under the legal age of 18, either don't play it at all or play it with very like with so much caution, like because it'll damage you
It'll
pretty bad.
mess with your head. Interesting.
It really will because it involves a lot of real life scenarios as well. Even though the characters are like fictional or have like like things like Fox use.
Yeah. Well, like for you with this game, is there anything that this game has taught you about yourself or?
It taught me a lot about relationships and to spot red flags in a relationship. And if I was in a situation like what they put the player through in real life, I kind of know what to do and how to handle the situation.
Could you kind of talk about that a little more specifically? Like, what are red flags you think that, like, what specifically, what are the things that you now are aware of that you weren't before?
Well, kind of like spotting if like the relationship is going bad or like if the person is like starting to get a bit down towards the negative side, like abusive or
Toxic.
hostile and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. Or like in any situation, you can like spot something like that, like something's wrong and that you need to leave.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it taught me a lot about like survival a bit, and a lot with relationships and how to spot if something's wrong.
In real life, like, have you been able to put these skills to the test, uh,
A
practically at
couple
all yet?
times. A
Yeah.
couple times actually. A lot of very toxic relationships that I've been through.
Would do you have do you feel comfortable talking about any of them?
Sure, I don't want to say their names,
Absolutely, yeah. Whatever
but
you feel comfortable with, yeah.
all right. So this one relationship that I was in, it was like 3 years ago. Um, it we go to the same school, which kind of don't do that. That's kind of a bad thing. You don't want to see them every day. But I used to have long black hair. It was dyed, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change myself. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna try being a new person. And I he didn't want to see it until I came to like visit him, and because he wanted it to be a surprise. And so when I went, he didn't recognize me at all and ran inside and put a gun up to my head.
Wait, wait,
That's
wait. Are you saying in school? This happened in school? No.
no, it was at his house.
Oh my god. So like how did you react to that? How
I was very calm and like I was like, "It's me. Calm down. You're all right." And he was slowly putting the gun down. Like I was just being very calm and like yeah.
wow. What happened after that? Did you continue to see him, or were you like,
Yeah, I
nah?
continued to see him, but because like I didn't really pay attention at that time, and after we broke up, he kind of like we were at school this time. This was when we were at school this time, and so he came up to me, and usually I'm like, "Hey, is there something you need?" Trying to be very positive and trying to not start anything, and he started accusing me of things that I never done, and he started closing in on me, and I was close up onto the wall, and he was like this close to me, and I was like, if you take another step, I'm going to kick you because like he's taller than me. I'm 5'1", and he's almost 6 foot. And my friends, thankfully, I'm so thankful that they were there at that time because I was so scared that something was going to happen. They pushed us apart, and they were trying to tell him that like I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. Like, yeah, first of all, thank you for sharing the story. This is something very personal, and on this channel, like, a lot of people have talked about like very toxic relationships, either family or whatever, and it's important that everyone knows that what they do, their actions matter. You know, like
Yeah, they really do.
they really do. And so like people may think like, "Oh, what like who am I?" Like even if I'm like an asshole to this person, like it doesn't matter. Like I don't matter. I don't but like the negative things that people do can they do have ripple effects, you know?
They really do.
Um and yeah, so thank you for so that's interesting that those kind of that kind of relationship had maybe influenced you to have an interest in this game.
Kinda not. It. I started playing it before when him and I were still dating at that time, but like we were. I found out about the game while we were together.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. So maybe those red flags were popping up like as you were playing the game too. You know, do you think that the game actually helped you identify that something was up?
Yeah, it really did. It helped me identify a lot in the game. Like when I was in the game and playing it, and like the first time I didn't understand what was going on, and I died a lot of times,
Yeah.
a lot, because I didn't understand it, and the character I was trying to pursue had really bad anger problems. And if you say something wrong, like right away, you're dead.
Hmm.
But yeah, so it kind of reminded me of that relationship in that character a little bit because of how his reactions were.
So now, like, where you are in your life right now and with relationships or whatever, like, what are the things that you feel like you have, where do you think you are now as to, like, your maturity with relationships, and what are you looking for now?
Well, I'm happily in a positive relationship now,
Hey,
so
that's
that's
great.
that's a plus.
Congratulations. That's great.
Thank you. Um, I've been kind of like being really chill and down to earth a lot, but like if necessary, I will like go up and like investigate or like see what's wrong. But like, yeah, I'm just kind of there.
Yeah, just kind of being with them, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And what have you? Thank you for being, just so giving in this conversation. Like,
Um,
what uh, what do you think you've learned from this healthier relationship?
it taught me a lot about understanding emotions because like when I was younger, I never really had a mom in my life, and I was raised by my dad,
Well,
and he was kind of like suck it up and deal with it, or keep crying because no one's gonna care. My dad
wow.
was kind of like really he was rough around the edges, but he was a really nice guy. He sadly passed away 5 years ago in a motorcycle accident. But
Wow.
he but like even though I never had a mom in my life, I'm with my mom now actually. I'm trying to get a bond with her. And he taught me a lot about like being strong. And even though things won't go your way, you're going to have to deal with it. But you can't just roll over.
Hmm.
And a lot of my friends are like, you're so cold hearted. You're so like, you're kind of like very blunt. And I'm like, well, because I never had a mom in my life to teach me emotions. Like, I'm still learning. And I'm 17, so.
Of course. Oh my gosh. I mean, wow. Wow. I mean, yeah, just the way that you're articulating things and how you're able to be so open and vulnerable with your stories now just shows like that you're at a level of maturity that where you're accepting vulnerability, and like and I think that, I know I'm a stranger that you've never met, and this is going to go onto a YouTube channel that probably none of your friends are going to see, but
It's
it,
fine.
but it's like it's it's brave to do what you're doing, to say what you're saying and how you're saying it. It shows a level of maturity, and processing of these things. And what like how did you how was the experience of losing your dad? Like, is that how was the grieving process for you at that time?
It was very, very tough because I've lived with my dad for 12 years and I had him in my life for that long. And honestly, I kind of wish I was told differently
Could you explain
because
that? Oh, I'm
how
sorry.
I was told. So I was on a chat site and it was anonymous, but my half sister knew about it, and I was out of state because I was seeing my mother for like a couple because I see her every other weekend, but I never really talked to her. I was just there. And she goes into the chat site. She says my full name, which is my dead name now. I go by Niles, and I'm a he, him now.
Oh,
And
okay.
so she says my full name, and she said, "Why aren't you here? Why aren't you home?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What's going on? Did something happen?" And she said, "Your dad's dead." And she was very blunt about it and saying that I needed to get home now. And my mom wasn't even there at that time to like make sure, because she went to go see my grandmother, who is my dad's mom, to like make her feel better, and she lived in another state in like the same state.
Wow. Wow. The stories and the experience. And how has your relation? How do you feel like your relationship has? Well, I guess for the audience that's watching here, for people that haven't gone through that experience, um, like what did you learn through that time, and what advice would you have to give for young people or for people that are going through something similar?
Well, it's gonna be hard. That's what I'm gonna say. It's gonna be like a kick in the gut or like a punch in the face, and it's gonna hurt. But like, there's always gonna be light at the end of the tunnel. There's always gonna be a silver lining, because sometimes I'm kind of grateful about his passing, because if I haven't, I wouldn't have met such amazing people that I've had in my life. I would have never met my healthy relationship. I would have never matured as I have, and like and like kind of understanding more about like other people and all that kind of situation.
Yeah, yeah. The things that kind of come out of tragedy, the silver linings. Life keeps moving, and
It really does. It's actually kind of for me and my mother, because like it's really hard for me to like trust mothers in my life, because the one time my dad actually got a girlfriend, and their relationship was actually really healthy, but she got very envious of me and his mother, because he was so close to them and wanted to be that person. And she made him cut ties with his mom. And because he used to be a truck driver, he had to go to New York for a couple weeks and wasn't able to come home. She accused me of a lot of things, and I was emotionally abused, mentally and physically. And I actually got really sick because of the abuse. And I tried to hide it because I didn't want to like have anything dealt with it. And it made me like drop down in grades. And she said she said that I was ADHD when I really wasn't. And she had to get me to take ADHD medication. And the doctors even said that I did not have ADHD or ADD at all. And because of that, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. And when I got sick, she called me anorexic and locked me in the bathroom and said, "You are to stay in here until you tell me the truth and that you're anorexic." When I was practically on the floor dying.
How old were
And
you? How old were you?
I was 7, 6, and my grandmother, who is my dad's mom, because she owned the house that we lived in, and we were kind of like renting. She would check in every so often, like every other week, and she had to use the bathroom, and she realized that the door was locked, and she asked if anyone was in there, and she heard me like saying help, and I was really really unhealthy and skinny. Like you could see my bones. And she dragged me out of that house and took me to the hospital, and the doctor said that I was really lucky, because if she wasn't there, I would have passed away.
What ended up happening? Like, what happened to that stepmom?
She's still around. she bears two of my dad's kids, and I honestly don't know how they're doing because I never see them anymore, and it kind of sucks because like I have to tell my little brother, who is 5 now, that hey, it's your older sibling, because he was 1. He turned 1 2 days before the accident.
Mm, mm. And to pass on your dad's memory, like that relationship is important, for
Yeah.
you and him, and yeah. Wow. Wow. What is something like what did you take out of those experiences?
That what I took out from that is like people aren't going to be what you expect. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not going to be what you expect. Uh,
Yeah, people are, yeah.
yeah.
Oh
So
no.
there's always going to be good people in the world, and they are going to be hard to find sometimes, but then there's going to be the times where they're just actually right beside you.
Mm, mm.
So yeah, it's kind of like what it's like, because like it's kind of hard to trust a lot of people for me because of that situation,
Oh my
and
God.
especially since childhood, because like I was considered the weird kid at school and was bullied a lot. And
Weird to like young kids means creative, and that like you had like a mind that was, you know, out of the box, and you were able to kind of, I don't know, be yourself probably more so than any other people.
yeah, they
That's
were
what
like
happened. Yeah.
they were like, "You're weird," and trying to like pick on me, and I would always sit alone on the bus. And I actually made 2 best friends, and I still talk to them to this very day. I was 4 when we first met.
Wow. So they're still
And
around, huh? You still hang out with them.
even though we're in different states now because I moved, because after my father passed away, I had to move because my stepmother still lived there, and my mom wanted us out of there because she didn't want us to associate with her.
Hmm. I see. So the relationship was pretty like there was a lot of tension between your mom and the stepmom.
She don't. She kind of like got really upset about it because nobody told her about what happened to me.
Um, your mom, your biological mom. Yeah. So like, what was your relationship like with your mom during all of that craziness with the accident, and like, were you still seeing her every other weekend?
Well, up until the accident, but right out like after the accident, and we came back to my hometown. We actually like started grabbing our stuff and taking it to like the house, that because we lived in a different house at that time, but we still lived in that same town. So we had to like grab our stuff and we went back to the old home that I was in. But like my stepmom actually was a part of the accident, and she
Oh.
actually had her hip shattered,
Oh.
so she has metal.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
And then yeah, well, thank you for just like allowing me to dig with these questions. I mean, your story is important, you know, and and your vulnerability is important. Um, and I believe that you are a role model for people out there, you know?
oh,
Yeah, you know? So I think that's why I'm asking is, I can kind of sense when people don't want to, and when people can handle it and when people can't. And of course, please don't answer if you feel uncomfortable. But like, there are people out there who are going through shit, and maybe this video will help them, and maybe you will help them, you know? So,
yeah.
um,
Sometimes I feel like my advice isn't really great because I don't really know how to communicate most of the time. because of anxiety and not having to not really understanding emotions easily, like a lot of people would. So I'm sitting there like I don't know how to react. I don't know how to like handle this.
I think that like everyone is on a at a different point in their journey in understanding themselves and their emotions. And I think just by saying that, by saying like, look, I'm still learning too. I'm a human. I don't know everything. That's enough that people like can clock that and be like, okay, this person is also self-aware. You know? Like you're also self-aware, Niles. So, so
So
that oh,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Continue.
Oh, well, I was going to ask you now about gender fluidity. So now you say, were you originally, or would you consider yourself transgender? Okay. Do you feel comfortable talking a little about your experience with gender fluidity?
Well, at first I didn't understand what it meant because like I was so little, and because like I was raised with a bunch of guys, and a lot of people. That's why a lot of people technically considered me weird, and some people called me a slut for it too.
Interesting.
Because I was binarily female, hanging out with a bunch of guys.
Just because you're hanging out with guys and you're a girl makes you a slut?
That's what it was like at
Come
my.
on.
That's what it
These
was like,
that's insane.
right? And a lot of people are like, "How do you get so used to talking to guys so easily?" And I'm like,
You're like, I didn't even think about it. That's why. Right.
I'm so used to talking to them. Like I'm just sitting here, like back and forth, just having a full conversation. And like every time I talk to a girl, it's just like,
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah. So why is that? What is that kind of block that you feel with women?
Because most of the time when I was bullied, it was a lot of girls and sometimes boys. But like, I was honestly kind of scared of the girls more than the guys. I mean, yeah, the guys would actually get physical and physically bully me, but like, I was kind of nervous about my mentality more than my physical strength
Yeah.
because I'm so used to it. Because I roughhouse with my brothers, still do.
Yeah, you can take some guys, right? Yeah, you can take. Yeah.
Like I can full throttle plow my 19-year-old brother onto the ground.
Yeah, but women, but at least with women for the most part, they were the ones who kind of like dug it into your head, like some insecurities.
Yes.
Do you think that was just out of jealousy, or do you think that was one of the main reasons that they did that?
Honestly, I don't know,
Yeah.
and I would like to know why they did that, but
It also doesn't matter now, right? Like,
it really doesn't. I never talked to them anyways. They just
yeah,
kind of were there.
yeah, you don't need those toxic people in your life, you know?
Honestly, they're just gone.
Yeah, you don't need that. No one deserves that, you know? And that's for them to work out, you know?
Like if they have a problem with how you are happy with yourself, they got to find a different place to be like that.
I think that's probably it, is they recognize that you're comfortable in yourself in a way that they feel like they never can be. And so that insecurity drives them to try to like put a hole in, like put a hole in you or something. I don't know. My belief with all of this is that like that trauma builds up with people early on, and that people just don't like themselves in certain ways, and that's why they lash out. I don't think that anyone is naturally bad, you know, but the
Right.
the world has beat them up in some ways, and you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's. I'm rambling now, but it's not. I'm not saying it's justified, because like you have been beaten up, but it seems as though you've taken the higher road.
I'm trying. I'm still not really as great as a lot of people tend to think I am. Like people are like, "You're so smart, you're so talented." And I'm like, Not really. Thank you.
Mm,
Because of the trauma that I've been through, it's kind of hard for me to even focus in school, and like because I kind of learn kinetically, where like I have to do like things hands on, because that's how I learned. My dad taught me that way, and he's like, this helps you much better than any other way, and it really does for me anyway. And so like that's why like I had to have someone right beside me to teach me something.
mm, mm.
And like and since we can't really do that, since we're like kind of put in small plexi glasses, because I have to go to actual school, and they won't even let us take off our masks at our seats, and we have the plexiglass surrounding
Wow.
us.
So I'm interested. Like for this video, I for these videos, I always kind of put like the states or the countries where people are from, and where were the two states? What was the state where you were born, and what state do you live in now?
I was actually born in Texas,
Okay.
but I was raised in Pennsylvania, but I now live in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Born in Texas. You so did all of this happen in Pennsylvania then?
Yes.
Okay, and then you moved to Ohio, which is where you are now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Wow, all over the place, huh?
My dad was a truck driver. He
Oh,
has
that's right.
that blood in his veins.
Do you like it?
I,
Do you like moving all over the place?
I'm so used to it. I'm just like, I love seeing new places. And this is the longest I've been in one place for so long. 3 years. I'm so used to like after a year we move. That's why I don't really make a lot of friends much, because because I'm gone in a year.
And that's why these friends that you were talking about that you met when you were 4 mean so much to you now that you still are in touch with them because you travel around a lot and they're still a part of your life even after all these chapters.
Yeah, and I actually contacted some of the friends that I've met in PA as well. That like when I moved, it was really nice because like I didn't fully move out of state after my dad passed away. We moved into a different town, but then I met some amazing people at this town. At this town, it was so sweet. But then there was also a lot of trauma and toxicity and crazy ex girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Like she didn't want to. She wanted to fight me, and I said no because that was too shallow for me. And she brought up my dad, and I was very disappointed in her that she decided to be that low to talk about my father. She was like, "Oh, because your dad's not here to save you."
Why do people do that shit?
Honestly, I have no clue. They just want to try to find ways to get under your skin.
They want to like have meaning in their they want to feel like they you know,
They want you to react to it.
exactly, exactly. It's like an attention thing. I think it's an attention thing.
Yeah, she was very attention seeking, and I'm
Ay,
pretty
ay,
sure
ay.
she still is.
Well,
I don't talk to her anymore, but yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I had some. I was in elementary school. I was bullied a little bit. I was called gay and like weird and stuff all the time, and it
Yeah, that's
really it made me question like my sexuality for sure for a long time. Um,
yeah, that's what happened with me as well, especially with my gender identity,
yeah,
especially with like hanging out with a bunch of guys, and I never even knew the term. And at first, I just called myself a tomboy, but then I was like, I don't feel feminine at all. I don't want to be a girl. I don't know how this feels. And then, like after my dad passed away, I figured out what it was. It was called transgender, and I was like, I actually know this. I feel this. I understand this.
wow.
And I was like, I think I'm transgender. And I just came out 2 years ago
Congratulations. Was that scary?
because my mom's a bit against it, but kind of supportive. I don't know. She's the in between.
Yeah, it's like maybe this thing where like the idea of it she doesn't like, but she loves you,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
She just says that I'm undecided until I'm 18. And I'm going to be turning 18 in March. So I'm like,
So are you just like, okay, like I'll give you that? Is that kind of like where that is? Or oh,
I'm sorry.
you're-
I dropped my Funko Pop.
yeah, that's tough, right? Because of course, like you're, yeah.
Like, coming out to your friends is like really easy, but then coming out to your family is like, yeesh.
Whew.
Like, I have a really supportive aunt, and I didn't even know because, like, I was so nervous with telling her because, like, she can be a bit out of hand at times. So, like, so I went to go visit her. Well, my grandmother, we went to go hang out with my grandmother for the weekend, and I was with my cousin and everything, and it was late, and we had to paint. We were in the middle of making a porch for my grandparents, like my great grandparents, because they moved next door to my grandmother and my aunt, because they live in this small little countryside. It's really cute, and so we were like, let's go get pizza. And I'm like, I'll go with you and I'll help you. So when we were out driving and we were at the pizza shop and everything, and the guy was talking to her and we were talking and everything. And then when the guy left, I was like, I need to tell you something. I've been thinking about it for a long time and I feel like now is the time to tell you. And she's like, what's up? And I said, I'm transgender. And she, like, honestly, her reaction took me by surprise because she's like, I knew it, I knew you were trans. What are your preferred pronouns? Like, what's your preferred name? And was like being super supportive. And I was like crying while holding like 4 boxes of pizzas. I was like sobbing.
Oh wow. Oh, that must have been really amazing.
It felt like weight just lifted off of my chest. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. This is amazing.
The relationship that you're in now, is it with a man or a woman?
It's with a man. And he's very supportive with me being trans.
Is
And he
he
calls me by I'm
is
sorry.
is he cisgender? Yes.
He's bisexual.
Okay.
And he's like completely fine with me being trans.
Wow, the world is. I mean, like 15 years ago, this
It
was
just
not
kind of,
happening.
it was like, no, no, no.
This was not happening.
Considering we were against everything, and yeah.
I think it was after gay marriage was passed in. When was that? 2005 or something? I forget. Or maybe it was even later than that. I
I
think.
don't know because I was born in '03, so I don't
Oh my
really know.
god. Oh, I'm so old. I'm such an old man. Can you guess how old
I
I am?
probably like 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be 30 in less than a month. Yeah.
Oh
It's
wow.
crazy. I know. I know. I'm an old man. You don't have to say. I know. Yeah.
Honestly, I can talk like completely fine with a bunch of elderly, like a bunch of older people.
Yeah. Don't call me
Because
elderly yet. No.
I'm sorry, I
No.
corrected
No. No.
myself.
No.
I corrected myself.
No. I know it. I know what you mean. It's. Well, it's. Yeah. Like I think in our society today, we have an issue with talking down to people who are minors, but like when you're 14 years old, you have the mental capacity to have an engaged conversation and the
And stick
ability
with
to be
it
open.
somewhat.
Yeah, yeah, and have the ability to be open minded. And like in school, the way that standardized testing is today, and just kind of the old structure of education
Yeah.
just doesn't fit for this day and age. Um, we need to figure things out differently, but
Yeah.
so actually, usually with people that I talk, this has just been a great conversation, and I usually ask people like a bunch of pre-written questions. I usually ask them three, and I have 45 written. So choose three numbers between 1 and 45, and I'll give you like those questions.
27,
Mhm.
13, and 30.
Okay, cool. 27.
Hello?
Not for you.
I'm sorry, my little brother came in.
That's okay.
Okay.
All right, 27. What is the last thing you Googled?
The last thing I Googled, let me look. I don't remember. Let me look. Hold on, let me look at my history. Ren Hana, the character that I'm cosplaying as.
So Ren Hana, that's what you Googled.
Yeah,
Cool.
the character I'm cosplaying as.
I'm going to put that in the description that you are causing Ren Hana. Okay, 13. Oh. If you could have dinner with one person who is dead and one person who is alive, who would you have dinner with?
My father for the deceased, and for the living, my grandmother. She makes the best homemade tacos. Like, whoo. Like, I miss her homemade tacos. She starts using store bought, and I throw a big fit. Me and my dad throw like a big temper tantrum because of it. We're like, no, it's not the same. Everyone thinks it's the same, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. The time and effort that you put in when making homemade tacos. It's like, oh. It's like you can taste the effort. Like,
Yeah, you can taste the love. That's
even
put
though
into
like
it.
how she uses it is flour based, but like, yes. And you can like hear the Hispanic music just playing in the background because like she loves listening to Selena Quintanilla, who passed away. But like, she loves listening to her while she cooks, and I like going in and helping her. It's really fun to cook with her.
What is your ethnicity? Are you guys Mexican at all? Hispanic? Yeah.
Hispanic, German,
Mm-hmm.
well, full-blooded Hispanic on my dad's side, but a whole mixture of stuff on my mom's side.
So you're a mudblood for sure.
Yep, mudblood, but here I am a Slytherin.
Yeah. I think I'm a Hufflepuff. I'm definitely a Hufflepuff.
I can see it. You're more of a Hufflepuff.
Right?
My boyfriend's a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's your house? He's like, I'm a Hufflepuff. And I'm like, he's like, what? Like, I'm Slytherin.
Hufflepuff has what, Cedric Diggory though, right? Everyone loves him. So, right?
Like, everyone's accepted in Hufflepuff, and then there's Slytherin. I feel like,
Yeah. Everyone's accepted in Hufflepuff, but they never win anything. So, you know,
right.
you win some.
At least they do it for fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's right.
The glare in the glasses were kind of getting annoying.
Okay. All right. And now let's see our last question. Oh, this is such a good one to end on. Who are you?
And can you like explain that more thoroughly for me?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of don't, because I would like you to kind of. I'm really interested in hearing it from your point of view,
Well, for me,
like
it
maybe
kind
what
of,
do you stand for, or who are you right now? I guess I'll ask you that.
for that, I kind of like, for what I stand for, it's kind of like, I stand for a lot of things. Like, I should, like, as I am a trans, I support the LGBT community 100%. I support a lot of like causes, but like I'm not a big fan of politics. But like I'll try to like at least like try to go in if I can, and if not, then I'm just gonna back out. Like, but I'm just kind of floating around, just being a floater, like minding my own business, and if necessary, I'll be there. That's kind of how I see myself, but I don't know what others see me as, but
Mm. What I guess I'll ask you one more thing that goes along with this. Um, what are your greatest dreams?
my greatest dreams? Well, ever since I was little, I always wanted to be an actor. I've loved being in theater. I was like this close to being in Disney.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was we were doing auditions. There was like this auditions thing going on, and selected few, like 50, when there was like over 1,000 people who came in, and they were like, they obviously used my dead name, but I'm gonna use my preferred name. They're like, Niles, you have such a personality, and your eye contact is like on point and amazing,
Yeah.
and you're like a very lovable person, and a lot of people love you, and like a lot of people recommended you to like be chosen, and I'm one of them. Would you like to go to Disney? And I'm like, ugh. And I was six at that time. I was, ooh.
Wow. Do you have any interest? So you still have an interest in that?
I still do.
Wow. Wow.
And like 3 years ago, when I first came to Ohio, and it was my first week of school, there was an auditions for Aladdin, and I decided to do it for fun because I haven't been in acting in a while. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this for fun. And I just went out and did it. And you'd be very surprised on who I got.
Did you get Jasmine? Who did you get? The genie. Yeah. That's
It was really
amazing.
fun. Yeah, they're like everyone was like, "Who's this?" Like they said, like the person who got Aladdin was like, "Who's Niles?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's me. What's going on?" They're like, "You're the genie." And
Best
I'm like,
role
"Oh,
in the
I am."
show.
And I
Yeah.
looked at it like, and it took me like a whole minute to realize this. I'm like, "Oh, I'm in it." Oh, because I was like, "Oh," because I thought I wasn't going to be in it because I just did it for kicks and giggles. And everyone got on my case about it because it was my first week of school.
So you came in guns a-blazing there.
I guess so. It was
That's
really
amazing.
fun.
Well, like I'll tell you, I'm actually a professional actor, and if you ever need, like I don't know the Ohio scene well at all. I know a little bit of the Cleveland thing. I don't know where. I mean, there's so many cities in.
I'm like 30 minutes outside of Cleveland.
Yeah, so I mean, I could like, if you ever are interested in kind of looking into it more, I'd be absolutely willing to help connect you to some resources because I mean that this is
Oh, that'd be amazing.
yeah. So yeah, my email is right here. Building Bridges 505, and if you reach out and you ever need help with any of that, I got to tell you, you just got to go for your dreams because you have such a great story and you have so many experiences that you can bring to the table, to the stage, to film. Like you'll get cast yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to like get myself out of my anxiety zone, like, cause like I kind of get like very clamped up a lot. Like especially if I'm like trying my hardest, I don't get it. But like if I'm just goofing off and just being random, I get in and I get the big part. Like I don't know, cause like I actually wasn't trying to audition for Genie. I actually was trying to audition for Jasmine.
Hmm.
But they're like, since my personality like kind of like went boom, they're like, you're Genie, hands down. Like, because I did the acting for Genie and I did the singing for Jasmine, and they're like, can you do like can you sing "Friend Like Me" for us? And I did, and I kind of like did a little dance while I was doing it.
Yeah, you have the personality for the genie. Definitely. That was definitely a very good casting choice on their part.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a great place to end. Well, I guess the last thing before we go, do you have any kind of last thoughts or advice for people watching out there?
Um, kind of. It's well, just follow your dreams, no matter what people tell you. I mean, it may be like the most impossible thing, but if you try your hardest, you can succeed. Even if it's not what you expect it to be, or like it's not going to be like the right time that like you thought it was going to happen, and then boom, it just pops out of the blue. Like, just for me, kind of just go with the flow and enjoy it.
Hmm.
But always try your hardest. It's best to try than to not try at all.
Hmm. Niles, it was really awesome talking. And
Next
please,
week,
yeah, please yeah, my name is Kenny, by the way. You don't know my name. Uh,
Kenny, like from South Park.
yes. Oh no.
I'm
Third
sorry.
third grade flashback, dude. No.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, so yeah, if you ever want to reach out, and you're ever interested in pursuing acting more, I could give you a ton of information, and help connect you to resources if you're ever interested. Okay,
I'm always interested in anything. So,
awesome, very cool. I'm gonna upload this video right now, and it should be up on the channel in like 20 minutes or so. So make sure to keep an eye on it. Okay.
all right, I will.
All right. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Enjoy your night or day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in Florida right now, so it's evening.
Yeah, it's like 9:30 or something down there.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. We're in the same
There's
time
like
zone.
time zones.
Exactly. Yeah. Very different worlds, same time zone. Yeah.
Right. I've been in Florida like once for the summer. It was nice.
August, if it was August, it's like hell down here in August. It just
Oh yeah.
yeah, it just sucks. It's just humid
Yeah.
and hot. But like June, July, the water is
It's
warm.
so nice.
Uh,
Yes. I've been in there. I've been in Florida for like all summer and like the beginning of August, and I honestly hated it being in August. I was like so humid. I
yeah.
was like, I just want to go outside and play Animal Jam.
Totally.
That's so nostalgic. Such a nostalgic sight.
I'm like on the west coast of Florida, so at least during the nice times, and it's really nice right now too. It's like 80 degrees here right now. It's amazing. But like,
It's like, I think it's like 60 or 70 degrees up here. I
oh,
don't know.
that's good. That's nice.
It's 59 degrees.
Oh, is it?
It's really cold up here actually.
Getting chilly already. Yeah, but like here, I mean, I'll tell you, I'm on the west coast of Florida, and the sunsets are just the best part. I mean, you go to the beach, it's I think it's like 7 o'clock right now, or 6:45, and the sun is just like this glowing ball.
Barely like right touching the ocean. It's just like all kinds of bright, vibrant colors.
Yeah, it's just that's to me, nature is where it's at. If I could just do anything, if I could just do anything all day, every day, it would just be hiking. I would just hike all the time.
Right. I always like try to like at least go out most of the time, especially when I'm with friends. And I'm like, can we go outside? Can we go outside? Like acting like a total dog. I'm like, I need to go outside. I need air. I need breathe.
I need breathe.
I need breathe.
Yeah. That's good.
Like my one friend who's a total inside person. They're like, why? And I'm like, but I want to go outside. Take me outside.
Yeah, yeah. Florida's got those beaches, but no mountains. So mountains are my favorite thing for sure. So
Mountains, they're so pretty. Especially like I've been on a plane that I remember like because where I was in Florida was like Waimama, if you know that spot.
I don't know.
It's like outside. It's like by Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's close. That I mean, that's like an hour away. So yeah, that area.
Yeah, it's close to like Tampa Bay, but like it's like a really small place, but it's really cute. But like when I was coming back from Florida back up to Pennsylvania, I saw like a lot of mountains and like a lot of countrysides and like everything just looked like cute little boxes, like little patches on plants, and I was like, oh my god, that's cute.
Yeah, that I think like where that is, that's like the Appalachian Trail, and that's one of my dreams is to be able to have the financial, ability to just hike.
To
It's like
go there and hike.
yeah, it's like 2,200 miles or something like that. It's insane.
Oh, that
It's
sounds amazing!
yeah,
Like
it's like
just get a bunch of stuff to go camping and just go.
yeah. My friend and I did 100 mile did the last 100 miles of it in Maine. We did 7 days, and it was just insane. It was like 13 mountains in 7 days. It was crazy.
13 mountains. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was great. I loved it. I loved it.
I
But
bet. I bet the view was amazing up there too.
it was great and very very quiet. Not
Not as
many.
like hectic as like the city is. Just
Yeah,
quiet.
yeah,
So
because that was when I was still yeah I was still living in New York. I was in New York for 5 years, and I that was like
yeah.
my getaway. Oh,
I don't mind.
I gotta do something though.
Oh, sorry.
that's okay. Now I'm gonna get going.
Oh, okay. It was nice to meet
Yeah, it
you.
was nice to meet and talk, and yeah, the video will be up soon. Okay.
All right. It
All
was
right.
nice meeting you.
Yeah. See you later. Bye.
Bye.